Busy Bees, welcome back to the J Hive. On today's video, let's read a story together. The name of the book for today is The Squirrels Who Squabbled by Rachel Bright and Jim Field. Take a look. Yes. Now, before we begin, moms and dads, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. Remember to like and subscribe. And if you haven't already seen the read aloud of this book and this one right here, go ahead and find the link in the description down below. Now, let's begin. The Squirrels Who Squabbled, written by Rachel Bright and Jim Field. In a towering forest where summer had been, the cool air beat fresh and the mosses grew green. And as autumn edged in and the sky raged red, the sleepiest creatures got ready for bed. While up in a tree swung a flightly young squirrel, who everyone knew as Spontaneous Cereal. This is Spontaneous Cereal. Now, most foresty folk had seen to their needs through the plentiful months of mushrooms and seeds. They'd built up their stores and they'd all been well fed through the frosting of winter that glittered ahead. Do you see them? Okay, all of the other animals gathered food in the summer and put them away for winter. But Cereal, he lived in the here and now. He'd adventured and partied his way through the year. So his cupboard was empty, his hollow was bare. He hadn't a mouthful of food anywhere. Do you see him? All he did was party all summer, and now his cupboard is empty and he has no food left. But wait, what was that over there? A single lone pine cone wedged in a nook. He squealed with delight, and for very good reason, for inside were the very last nuts of the season. Do you see? That's the pine cone. But Cereal wasn't alone. There were more hungry eyes. Yes, Plan Ahead Bruce had his sights on the prize. This is Plan Ahead Bruce. Though he gathered a mountain of bounty hard fought, Bruce was convinced he was one pine cone short. I simply must have it, he wistfully cried, as he dreamt of the fresh, juicy pine nuts inside. Do you see the mountain of food that Plan Ahead Bruce has stored up? So, as Cereal set off on his way to the ground, Bruce, he was also last pine cone bound. They sprinted and scurried with no time to gamble. They scratched at the bark with their scampering scramble. Do you see them? But their panic haste shook the tips of the spruce, and the pine cone, it trembled, and then it came loose. Both squirrels gave chase at the lightning pace. This was the start of a wild, naughty race. Do you see them? Whew! They are running towards the pine cone. It's mine, shouted Cereal. No, mine, hollered Bruce. You don't stand a chance. Give up, it's no use. I'm hungry, cried Cereal. This cone is not yours. Stay back, shouted Bruce. This cone is for my stores. It boinked over bushes. Do you see the cone goes boink, 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 boink over bushes? and it flew through the air. It binged on the nose of a slumbering bear. Do you see that? Boom, bing, boing, boing, boing. It bounced over boulders, then came to a stop. Then teetered and wobbled, quivered and plop. Both squirrels followed. Oh, the water was fast. Would they learn what they needed, that they needed each other at last? Look, the pine cone went in the water and so went the squirrels. But each was intent on how he could win. So they didn't quite notice a bird sweeping in. Do you see them try to get it? But the bird is coming. Squirrel and Bruce, they watched in dismay as their cone disappeared. Up, up, and away. Do you see? The bird took the cone. Come back, shouted Cyril. There are nuts, exclaimed Bruce. But all hope was gone. It was simply no use. Do you see them scream? Come back! And meanwhile, they drifted right up to the ledge. Greed, it was driving them. That's why it's not good to be greedy. Over the edge they went. Do you see them? Cyril and Bruce, they had taken a fall. They were paying the price for wanting it all. They'd squandered their chances to team up and share. Would their naughty young hopes simply end in despair? Bruised and bedraggled, they swept past dry land. Cyril grabbed at a branch with a trembling hand. Do you see? Cyril tried to grab the branch. Catching Bruce with the other hand, he heaved and huffed. Do you see him? He helped Bruce and dragged him to safety with panting and puffs. They dragged each other to safety. They stared at the sky, quite lost in deep thought, until Bruce looked at Cyril and let out a snort. How silly we are, he proclaimed, all a jiggle. How greedy I've been, spluttered Bruce with a giggle. We shall change from today. May the squabbling cease. We should celebrate, seeing we are both in one piece. From that day and forward, they made a great pair. They would gather together and found they could share. Yes, Cyril and Bruce, they knew in the end. Do you see them? They gathered together and shared their food. The best thing to share is a laugh with your friend. Oh, so they became friends at the end, even though the bird went away with the pine cone. And at the end of the day, all they did was laugh about what happened. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Yes.